up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Ursaluna Bloodmoon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comments section. And if you're new here, and if you want to support the channel and the video, make sure you hit that like button. It helps you out, and let's get into it. So Ursaluna is the new Pokemon for the Teal Mars DLC, and it is vastly different to normal Ursaluna because it is a primarily special attacker. Like, look at that special attack stat there. That is crazy. Now, it gets a new ability, and it also gets a new signature move too. So let's have a look at those. So it's got Mind's Eye. What Mind's Eye is, it's to be, to make things simple, it's a combination of Keen Eye and Scrappy together. So fighting and normal moves can hit ghost types, and accuracy can't be lowered and ignores evasiveness. So that's quite a good ability for sure, because that means you can freely spam your normal and fighting, especially normal moves, and you don't have to worry about a ghost type coming in and stuff like that. Now, it also has the new move Bloodmoon. Bloodmoon is a normal type move. It's 140 base power. However, it cannot be used twice in a row. So it's comparable to Gigaton Hammer like Tinkaton. Now, this move is really, really nice for sure, but you've got some other moves that you could probably use alongside it. And there are little strategies that you can use, so like you can use Protect in Bloodmoon, then you can use Bloodmoon again. So you can, do little things like that. Now, for its stats, have a look at them. We've got a ginormous special attack stat of 135 base, very impressive. 120 defense, which is really nice for its defensive bulk, and 113 base in health, which is really nice too. Everything else, especially special defense and speed, are not so good. So this is where this Pokemon is going to fall down a little bit, but it's definitely still a good Pokemon, and you can run some really cool sets. So I wanted to run an Assault Vest set to sort of patch this 65 base special defense to give it a little bit more special bulk and make it, bulky all around. So I've given it max health and max special attack with, modest nature is going to give it a lot of hitting power. So, even resisted Pokemon, say for example Corviknight, Goldengo, are going to find it tough swapping into like a Bloodmoon because it's going to do so much damage there. So I've given it Assault Vest, it's given it some extra special defensive bulk. The other moves I've given it are Earth Power, so that's a nice special ground stab move, 90 base power. You've also got that 10% chance to drop the special defense by 1 too, which is nice. And we've got Moonblast. Moonblast is probably sort of just a coverage move. And we've got Vacuum Wave, which is really cool because that's a priority move. So, being quite a slow Pokemon, it's nice to be able to pick off a Pokemon that maybe is on 1 health or has a little bit of, health left that you can finish off there. It's also a good fighting type move too, and fighting moves are always good to have. And it also is very nice because you can use it with the Mind's Eye ability. So if a ghost type comes in, you can still use Vacuum Wave on it. So they're the moves that I thought you could give a go here. As for Terra, this Pokemon can run a few Terras. Terra Normal, I feel, is not bad on it because that actually only allows it to be weak to fighting, and that's it. And, if a fighting type comes in, well, you can hit them with Moonblast, can't you? So you've got a way to, to hit your one weakness. Now, another Terra you could run, respectively, you could run its Ground Terra as well. If you're going to run, Terra Ground, that would be okay too. Some other ones you might be able to run, you might be able to go like Terra Ghost to get around fighting type moves. That's more like prediction stuff. You are weak to water, so you might be able to go like Terra Water, or maybe Terra. Probably Terra Water. Terra Water isn't bad because you are weak to ice and water too, so that would be quite a good one to go into to maybe tank a few moves. And then, with water, you're only weak to a couple of types anyway, so that would be my suggestions there if you wanted to go for a Terra. If you were to do that, you might go for Terra Blast. Terra Blast could be an option to go for, and then you could have Terra Water, so you'd at least have a water type move. Or another one you could run too, I was thinking, you could actually, we'll put Moonblast back on there for now. You could have Terra Fighting too. That'd be kind of neat to have Terra Fighting Vacuum Wave, because that would be a higher, a priority move with a lot higher base power. So that could be quite good. A little bit of a surprise too for the opponent. But that's how I'd go about running Ursaluna with Assault Vest. Let's have a look at the next set. So probably I'd probably say probably the best set that I can run with here is this bulky Calm Mind set. So yes, it does get access to Calm Mind. Now, since it is quite a slow Pokemon, by the time you get like a couple of Calm Minds off, you're probably going to be fainted if you try and run like a sweeping style set. So like max, let's say you want to run something, for argument's sake, you want to run like max speed. It just isn't enough speed. So rather than try and waste your EVs in speed, you're going to be putting them into bulk. So we've got max health and max defense EVs with bold nature. And I just dropped the last little bit into special defense there. So that gives it a very, very nice defensive core there. So it's very, very bulky. And I've given it leftovers as an item. So leftovers is always a great item while you're setting up, like, say, status moves like Calm Mind. It gives you that passive recovery each turn. And it might enable you to be able to, live one more. Now, another cool move that gets is Moonlight, which I guess isn't too much of a surprise because it's Blood Moon. So Moonlight is going to be able to heal you off why you get these Calm Minds going. Now, this is actually a pretty dangerous Pokemon if it's able to get like 1 to 2 Calm Minds off. Because when it does, it's going to have like quite good bulk and it's going to be very, very difficult to get around. It's going to take a lot of wearing down. I gave it Blood Moon, of course. You know, when you're running a Calm Mind set and you've got Moonlight and Calm Mind, you're probably not going to be using Blood Moon continually anyway. You probably want to heal yourself off or use another boosting move and stuff like that. So I feel like that works well on a set like this. And of course, just to give it some coverage, I've given it Earth Power as well. So that's going to be nice. So any Steel type Pokemon that do want to come into this, or Rock type Pokemon, you can land Earth Power on them for super effective. So that gives you basically like perfect coverage there. And even like those Steel Pokemon that come in, a Rock type Pokemon, they're still going to take a lot of damage from that special attack stat. So even though like special attack, it's still got a lot. Like EVs, it still has a lot anyway. And with Mind's Eye, you're going to be able to hit everything. So this essentially, I believe, is its best set, the bulky Calm mindset. To get this set up as a like teammates, I would probably be trying to set this up against a support Pokemon. Say your opponent's got a support Pokemon or something that lacks a lot of physical prowess, basically. So anything that's very, very passive, you can set up on. You might be able to pair this with something like a good pivot Pokemon with U-Turn or Volt Switch. You can get out of there quickly, so that could definitely be something decent. Maybe like, I don't know, like a Cinderace or something like that. So U-Turn out of there, or any Pokemon that's got like Volt Switch or U-Turn could be handy to get you into that straight into that matchup and start setting up your Calm Minds and stuff like that. So you're definitely going to be able to get one in that matchup, maybe even two if the opponent stays around too long and tries those sort of things. Obviously this is good. This is going to fall down to like Toxic and stuff like that. So you might want to run Lumberry on there, but I feel like overall it'd be better just to send this in after you've gotten rid of those types of Pokemon. So like any status moves like that, so any toxic Pokemon you should get rid of. And of course, with any Pokemon like this, it's good to have something like a Defog or Rapid Spin Pokemon too, because these sorts of Pokemon that are bulky boosting that don't have rest, they're not going to last very long if Toxic Spikes is on the field. So you need something like that to get rid of them off the field there. There's a lot of defoggers and stuff in the game. Anyway, so that's probably the best way to run this. And I say this for singles, right? This is going to be way too slow for doubles. I mean, this here potentially could work in doubles too, but I've got a better doubles in like VGC set in a sec. So yeah, that's how I'd go about running that. Next one we got, don't underestimate Hyper Voice and Throat Spray, because I tried this out a little bit, and it's actually a nice passive way to increase the special attack on this Pokemon and keep attacking over and over. So similar sort of build here. We got max health and max special attack. We got Modest Nature. Now I've got to mention this too. This would make a fine Trick Room Pokemon. That's why I've put TR there. So potentially same sort of setup, but instead of running Throat Spray, you could have Room Service, right? So you've got Room Service. So you've got any Trick Room setting up Pokemon. So simply you just change your nature to quiet, and try and get as many try and go for one that's as little IVs and speed as possible. And we've got Room Service on there too. So even with, let's say you even got one with 0 IVs in speed, well, there are Pokemon that can still outspeed you in Trick Room, so that's where Room Service comes in. And, when it's active, it's going to drop your speed by 1 stage, allowing you to outspeed everything and, wreak havoc on the team there. So we've got, I would change up its moves from Hyper Voice then. I would give it its Blood Moon. So I'd definitely give it Blood Moon there. I give it like its highest like offensive moves there for sure. So you got Blood Moon, Earth Power, Moonblast, and Vacuum Wave. So, but that Throat Spray set isn't all that bad either. You could run that under Trick Room if you wanted to as well. You sort of have to sort of just forego Room Service. So that's an option for you. I've given this one Terra type Fighting. Like I said, Fighting, Water, Normal, Ground. All those are going to work. I was thinking Fairy wouldn't be all that bad either. You could go for Fairy. As a Terra, because it's not weak to that many things, and like say it's kind of clever too, because you could draw out like Steel Pokemon, which are weak to Earth Power, and you could also draw out Poison Pokemon as well, which are also weak to Earth Power. So it's not a bad Terra to run. Like actually, it's kind of underrated because you can draw out your weaknesses and you've got a move to deal with them. So that's another thing to think about if you're going to use Ursaluna, and when it could be on one of these sets too. Like you could have Terra Fairy. So just depends what you've got on your team and stuff like that. I will talk about a little bit more teammates and counters and stuff like that. But yeah, let's go on to doubles VGC first, because I got a couple of meme sets as well. I always like to run some memes. So this set is more designed for doubles as well. I don't know why Ursaluna's pictures disappeared. I think I need to refresh my internet cache or something like that. Anyway, so we got Ursaluna here, and for doubles, I'd be using Hyper Voice. Of course, it's going to be much better, and you can make use of Throat Spray then, like really, really make use of Throat Spray nicely. So we got Hyper Voice, Earth Power, Vacuum Wave. I think it's going to be quite handy for picking off Pokemon. Or you could run Moonblast. So Vacuum Wave, Moonblast, whatever you want to pick there. And I think that Moonlight actually isn't bad. You could heal yourself up too. Say if you had another Pokemon that maybe had Rage Powder, or you felt like the opponent was not going to attack you this turn, that we're going to go for another Pokemon, you could get a Moonlight up. So that's another option. You could absolutely give it Protect as well. That could be another option to give it. So Protect. And yeah, you've got Protect as a way just to see maybe you might be able to protect, and you have your partner or ally Pokemon do some damage while you take a hit under the Protect. So that's another way you can run this. I've given this Terra Normal. Terra Normal Hyper Voice is going to be hitting really, really hard. So that's going to be a definite option you can absolutely use there. So go ahead and use that for sure. I was thinking maybe while we're talking about like partner Pokemon and stuff like that, so maybe in double, I was thinking like something cool in double. So you could have a Trick Room team. Let me have a look at some Trick Room Pokemon. There's a lot of Trick Room Pokemon that could be viable for this. So we've even got like depending on what rule set you play to. So we got Hatterene. Hatterene's very nice. We've now got Dusknoir in the game as well. Cresselia. You've got some very, very good Pokemon there for sure. You've got Slowking Galar as well, so that can work. You've even got Sinistra. I always mess that name up. You even got that too. That could work as a nice partner, or just a teammate setting up Trick Room. Also, another interesting one. This is probably more gimmicky, but I was like, I wonder if you can make this go first, right? So say you had Morsold and you had Friendguard. So Friendguard, Morsold, which is going to obviously help out with damage. And you could go like another strategy I was thinking of there. You could have After You. So if you did, because it's quite a fast Pokemon. So if you had like, so what After You is going to do, you can make your Hyper Voice Bloodmoon Ursaluna go first with Hyper Voice, because it's a very, very slow Pokemon. So After You is going to be... but obviously it's going to be based on the speed of this. So you could run something like Jolly, and that's quite a fast Pokemon. So you could go After You and then, get the Ursaluna to, start firing off Hyper Voices or something like that. If you wanted to run it, first or something like that instead of Trick Room, that could be a definite option. But I feel like it's got enough overall bulk anyway to leave attack. So that's probably how I would run it. If you don't want to run Throat Spray, You could opt for like... I'm trying to think what you could opt for there. You could also put... You could run the Assault Vest set, but you would have to adjust Protect. Like this one here, instead of Blood Moon, you'd have Hyper Voice. So that's another way to run it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. I quite like the Throat Spray set. I think it's pretty good. If you really wanted... Yeah, I like that. I'm not going to change what I say there. I actually quite like that set. If you've got any other sets, let me know. But I quite like the Hyper Voice set for doubles. It's quite good. Even if you're playing around singles, it might work too. But anyway, that's some double stuff there. As for team members, I think that Dondozo would be a good partner there, mainly because it sponges a lot of those like water type moves, and it has Unaware too, so that could be very, very helpful. We already talked about like some good pivoting Pokemon, so maybe like Zapdos. I'm just trying to think here. Zapdos could be a decent one there too. Now, as for counters, this is going to be kind of rough to counter this Pokemon, because it has got Mind's Eye, and it's going to be able to hit everything. Like, even stuff like Corviknight. I was thinking Corviknight could be a decent counter as well. And it can, but it is going to take a fair bit of damage. So you have to sort of just watch there. You might be able to roost off the damage, but it's still going to hit very, very hard. So I'd say that Corviknight's not a bad counter too. But depending if you're running a special defense one, you'll be okay. But yeah, just be very, very, very mindful. It's still going to hurt a lot there. So that's another one for sure. Another one could be Goldengo too, but once again with the Goldengo, you sort of have to worry. You can't just swap into it because of its ability, and it is going to do a fair amount of damage too. So that's another one that could be okay, but you can't be like too careless with it too. It's just that it's quite a very, very powerful Pokemon. The thing that's basically anything that's speedy and a special attacker. If we look at its stats, right? If we look at its stats, anything that's going to be faster and hit it hard on the special side is going to be good. So any speedy water Pokemon are going to be nice there. Any speedy fighting, special fighting moves, ice Pokemon, stuff like that. Or any ice moves, right? So we go like, let's say for example, let's put some in here. So we got like special attackers here. So we got like Inteleon, you got Iron Bundle, that'll absolutely destroy it. So any sort of like special attack like Greninja, stuff like that is going to be very, very bad for Ursaluna. But yeah, there's any speedy special attacking Pokemon. Just take advantage of its slow speed stat and its bad special defense. And do not let it set up Calm Minds. That's another thing there. Don't let it set up Calm Minds. But it's going to be quite a nice wall breaker for sure. But anyway, I thought of another, like, this is like sort of like a super duper counter here, like highly specific. I was thinking like, what if you got Basculegion, right? And you've got Mold Breaker? Because that would essentially mean that its normal type moves wouldn't affect you. And then you could hit it hard with a water type move. So that's like a more of a hyper specific counter, but that's just another thing I was just thinking of there. But yeah, let's have a look at some of these meme move sets here. So we got this speedy meme set. I was sort of playing around with the idea that I could make Ursaluna fast. I'm like, well, let's have a look at it. So we've got Modest Nature, max special attack, and we got max speed. So with 52 base speed isn't exactly Sonic the Hedgehog, so I thought maybe we could make use of Trailblaze, because I remember, normal Ursaluna does get Trailblaze, and this actually gets basically all the physical moves that it learns too. So I thought maybe a Trailblaze on a swap or something like that could be handy, or a Trailblaze and then start attacking, and I gave it Salak Berry too, because that could give you a potential +2, and then you'd be outspeeding a lot of things then, and you could be quite a threatening Pokemon, so... Just another sort of a gimmicky set. I can see it actually working in some aspects it could work, but more of a gimmick there. So Trailblaze and 3 special attacking moves. So maybe you could give it a try, or maybe you could do something like potentially Blood Moon and Earth Power really give you great coverage. So maybe you could go like Sub. Now, the reason why I say substitutes, you could even try and sub down into the Salak Berry to deliberately activate it. And then once you've got, like, your sub up, you'd be immune to stuff like, well, you know, Toxic and Will-O-Wisp and things like that. So that might be another way to, you know, get it down there quicker too. And then you could maybe Trailblaze behind the sub and stuff like that. But just a little bit of a interesting set there. I got a bit Terra-type Fairy. You could... what about Terra-type Grass? That could be kind of interesting. So, like, you might be able to sponge a Water-type move and go from there or something like that. And then, you know, say a Fire-type comes in, you could go for Earth Power on them and, you know, those sorts of fun things. But, yeah, you could go normal as well. Like, we've sort of gone over what ones are the best there. So, let's have a look at a physical meme here, like fully physical. So, I was having a look at Ursaluna, and, of course, its attack stat... Well, I mean, it's 70 base, so it's not absolutely it's horrendous, but it's not like it's terrible too. I don't know. So we got max attack and max speed. I gave it Adamant Nature, and we got a Sword Dance Sweep with Trailblaze. It actually gets Headlong Rush, which is cool, and I also gave it the Mighty Giga Impact Earl. So Mind's Eye, Giga Impact. Nobody gonna light swap it into that after a Sword Dance. So it's gonna do some respectable damage there for sure. I mean, if you want to go for Jolly, it's not really going to give you a lot, so we'll go for Adamant. So if you want to play around and have a fun Ursaluna build, I got that physical meme there. If you want to try that speedy meme, that could work too. Even Choice Scarf on a special set it's not going to be fast enough. But yeah, let's have a look at Ursaluna's moves. I always like to go over all sort of like the status moves, the special moves, and stuff like that. So we've gone over Calm Mind, great Calm Mind, bulky with Moonlight Protect. That would be quite handy in doubles, or if you can use Protect alongside Blood Moon, that could work too. You could have a Rest Sleep Talker. That could work too, like Rest Sleep Talk Blood Moon. That could be interesting with Earth Power. That's another idea. Roar, if you want to run it as like a defensive wall, you've got any entry hazards on the field, that might work. And yeah, pretty much that's it really. You might be able to run Helping Hand in doubles, but I don't know, you're kind of wasting that ginormous special attack stat. Maybe that's be best left to like a support Pokemon. So that's pretty much it for its status moves. They're quite light. As for its special moves, we've got Blood Moon, we've gone over that Earth Power. It does get Focus Miss, but it's very, very inaccurate. I kind of like Vacuum Wave because it gives it priority as well, and can't miss, right? Terra Blast, there's lots of Terras. We've talked about that already. Moon Blast. And yeah, there's not too much else. You might be able to run something with Snarl and Throat Spray, but I don't know. I feel like you're missing out on just giving it its better moves anyway. And Blood Moon and Earth Power hits virtually everything. So that's that. Very, very limited. And funnily enough, it gets all of... Look how many physical moves it gets. It gets all of its physical moves. So it virtually got everything that normal Ursaluna got. So there's a lot of options there. But as you know, its physical is trash. So, yep. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed today's guide. I hope you learned how to use it or got some ideas. Basically, this is a really good Pokemon. I'm not going to say it's super going to be overpowered, but it's going to be a great bulky special attacker that hits very, very hard. And it's going to be a great wall breaker too. And that bulky Calm Mind boosting set has a lot of potential there too. That's about it, people. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll do some more of the new Pokemon probably tomorrow onwards. Peace out, people.